Hi and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. I am still out here in Utah and the sun is about to come up, so I'm hoping that this is still able to see everything behind me, still see me, and not get too much sun, but the light might change as I do this video. So today I'm going to tell you about the tools I use, the supplies I use, and some of the trainings and all that kind of stuff that you can actually write off as a tax deduction for your business. So all of the tools, supplies, training, software, all of that stuff is tax deductible on your business because you're using it for your business. So that really helps come tax time. And so I just thought I would let you know about the tools I use. I'm going to show you the ones I use, the ones I have used, and also cheap alternatives, because I know when you're starting, even though it's a tax deduction, you still have to pay for it, and that is not something all new sellers can do. So I'm going to show you the supplies I use, alternatives if there are any, and just walk you through everything step by step. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nikki and I've been selling on Amazon doing retail arbitrage FBA for 3.5 years now, all from a fifth wheel RV. I'm currently at a campground in Utah. So the cool thing about selling on Amazon is you actually don't need a lot of space or room, because FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. So I'm sending all my inventory into Amazon. I do a little bit of FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant or fulfilled by me, and that is really small stuff. I do a lot of lightweight small stuff. If you want to know more about that, I have a video where I go through it step by step, so you can definitely check that out. So today I'm going to go through basically the FBA side of things and what you need, because that is probably 95% of what I do all the time. And you don't need a lot of supplies. This is literally everything. I mean, aside from I only brought out one size of poly bag, other than that, like, this is it. I literally have a tiny little cabinet in there where I store everything. You don't need a lot of space. Before I get into the supplies though, I'm going to go through the software and the tools that I use. So the number one tool I suggest that anyone new seller start using is Keepa, and it's just Keepa.com. If you have an Android phone, you can also get the app, but it's not on iPhone right now. So I just in the store will pull up Keepa.com on my Safari web browser and search it that way. So there's a free version where you can see if Amazon is selling it and kind of the price it was at. The paid version, I think it's $15 a month. I went ahead and just got the whole year because I use it all the time, so you save a little bit of money there, but it's $15 a month. And then you see the sales rank, which is really important when you're trying to decide how many to buy and how many it's going to sell a month. So there's that. But if you're on a budget, free is totally good, because you really want to know if Amazon was selling it and what the price has been historically. When you're out scanning and you see something that is too good to be true, the profit is crazy, the rank is really low, and all of it is like, wow, I just got a really big winner. That's when I pull up Keepa, because you want to double check that really is a winner. It can be, it probably is, but there also might be something that's a little too good to be true. So on Keepa, you just copy the ASIN, you just go into the search area. Again, you can do this from your mobile phone. I do it from my mobile phone. I very rarely ever actually use the laptop. Also, the extension on Chrome you can download, and then on every product page it'll pop up the Keepa chart for that product. So here's how it looks on the actual product page. You can see here. So Amazon has never sold it, because if they had, there would be yellow bars here. Again, I have the paid subscription, so I can see the sales rank over time right here. Right here you can see this item has only been on here for 42 days, but if it had been on here longer, it would say like a year, and you can see how it sold over the year, which is really great for seasonal items year round. So if you're in 4th of July and you want to know if this is a good item, go ahead and click year and see how it did last 4th of July. And then down here is just the offer count, like how many other FBA sellers or FBM sellers, just new item offers in general, have there been. I use this, I don't really use it to make a decision so much as if a brand is selling it and I think maybe that brand has an IP issue, then I will go ahead and see, was it only the brand ever, or have there been other people selling it? So here's what the page looks like on Keepa. Again, it'll look exactly the same on your phone. It's just the web browser, so you could see the images. If you wanted to click through and see it on Amazon or on eBay, you could. So that is Keepa. It's really helpful, again, so you can see. So say I saw this and I was like, oh wow, look at that. It's got a 5,500 sales rank. Like, that's amazing. But then you can see it's actually started to go up recently, and it's usually as the price goes up, the rank goes up, because people are less likely to buy it. Rank, if you don't know, is always moving around, and when it makes a sell, it goes a lower rank, it's a hotter selling item, and then it'll move around as it sits there. So it's always fluid, but it is like, you can tell in general in kitchen, this has always been a pretty decent rank. So that's the tool I use in store, sometimes at home, but usually mostly in store. And then also in store, I use Jungle Scout. So let's say this has a rank of 170,000 in kitchen, and now I want to know how many does that actually sell a month. You just go to junglescout.com/estimator, and it's a free tool. You do, I think, have to put in your email now, but don't worry, you can just unsubscribe from the emails. And what does that sell a month? Even that high rank sells 30 a month. So if there's only 3 sellers, you can expect to sell about 10. And that's how I use Jungle Scout. You just to kind of know like how many to expect to sell a month, how many to buy, and all of that. So those are the 2 tools I use in store. Once I get all my stuff home, I go ahead and I use RevSeller. So how I use RevSeller is while I'm putting my SKUs, making my shipment, inputting the products, all that, I use RevSeller to see my break-even price. So right here, we're gonna go back to this one. This box right here is RevSeller. It is really handy because it tells me right here the rank, the category it's in. You can grab the ASIN, the UPC if you needed it. So say I found this for $4.99. I just looked up Ray Dunn, by the way, so if you see this out there, it's probably a bolo. You'll have to FBM it, but you know, whatever. So it's selling for $21.50 at $4.99. I would make $9.61 profit on this item. I do like it for FBM also because it does kind of break down the price. So you'll see here at $21, I'm gonna pay Amazon $3.23. It's probably gonna be about $4 to ship it. And then the cost, of course, I paid $4.99, and it breaks that down for you. So I really like it for that. It's handy if you're new to FBM to use. RevSeller gave me a discount. You can grab the code below. All the tools that I have discounts for, they're all in my tools and helpful info at the bottom of every video. So if you ever need this, like later on, you're not ready, they'll always be there. So you can go ahead and grab $20 off if you are brand new to RevSeller. It's $99 a year, so you can get it for $79 a year, which is awesome. So definitely check that out. All right, back to RevSeller. So the way I make my SKUs is, say I got this at TJ Maxx, so I would say TJM $4.99, that's how much I paid for it. And then I go ahead and do BE break even. That's just my own thing. You can make up your own. And then I say, okay, so what would my break even price be for this? At what point will I start to lose money? So $9.99, somewhere in between $9.99 and $10.99. So let's just say I'd probably make my SKU on this one TJM $4.99, BE $10.49. Some of the people in the Bolo group have mentioned that they actually like add the date onto that too, because you can only have one SKU name that. So say I got another item from TJ Maxx and the break even is the same, I'd be like, okay, it's $10.48. That's what I do it, but you could also add the date if you want to. And when I get into Sellerboard in a second, I'll tell you why I use that, but I also use it when you're adjusting your prices on your manage inventory, and you can see like how low can I go on this item right there in the SKU. So it's really handy to have a SKU that tells you what you bought it for and the break-even price, just to make your life easier instead of going back and forth. So that's how I use RevSeller. I use it on every single product. Every time I'm putting it in a shipment, I use it all the time. I think it is so worth it. So it's there for you. You don't need to. You could do this on your app, your seller app, if you want to. So you don't absolutely have to have it if you're starting out, but I use it all the time and I love it. Oh, one more thing I didn't say. I'm not logged into my Amazon account, but if I was, let me just do it. So now that I am logged in, you can see right here, it says I can sell it as new. And if I couldn't sell it, it would be like restricted, and you literally can just click it and it'll take you right through to where you can list it. Another really easy, helpful tool. Another tool that I don't think is absolutely necessary, but if you're a new seller and you're scared or worried about IP alerts and IP issues, IP alert Chrome extension is really helpful, and I'll show you how it works. You just go to the product page, so like I'm on right now, so I'm putting in my shipment and I'm going to the product page to see the break-even price, check that everything still makes a profit, and then all of a sudden, so this literally happened. I bought this knife at Walmart. I was going to do my SKU, make my break-even price, and all of a sudden IP alert popped up. So when that happens, I was like, 3 alarms. I didn't know that was a thing. So this is how it happens. You'll see this little pop up. Sometimes it's 1 alarm. In most cases, I still sell it because I've sold it before I knew about IP alert. And so I'm like, I know this is fine. I've never had any issues. But if you're new and you want something helpful that kind of gives you an alert, it's all user-based. So if you get a letter from a brand or anything like that, you can actually email IP alert and they'll add it to their list so that all the sellers who are using it can continue to make this database so that other sellers know if it's a IP issue, because IPs are never fun. If you want a full breakdown on IP alert, I have a video, which I will link right here. Again, they gave me a coupon code because I was like, listen, people want to use this tool. I don't really need to make money off of it. Like, what's your best discount? So they gave me $30 off coupon coupon code. It's just Nikki, my name, Nikki, whenever you go by IP Alert, or if you click the link below, it has the code already combined for you. So that's IP Alert. Okay, another tool that I use all the time is Receipt Bank. So Receipt Bank is an app on your phone. If you use QuickBooks, it might even connect to GoDaddy bookkeeping. I'm not sure. I use QuickBooks, but it links into QuickBooks. So literally all I do, I should have brought a receipt out here. All you do is you just go to the app on the phone, you click this, you take a photo of it, literally the receipt, just make sure you can see the date, the total, and the store, and then it automatically puts it into the system. And then at the end of the year, come tax time, I can make a whole Excel. And obviously you can do it more than just tax time, that's just what I do. But you can go throughout the year and see what you're spending, what stores, all that. It makes it in a really handy spreadsheet. I love it. I've been using it for 3 years now. It's really, I love it. They don't have a discount for me. I am so sorry, but I still use it all the time. So that's Receipt Bank. It's my way of keeping track. I think QuickBooks, actually, you can do the same thing. I'm not totally sure, but I use Receipt Bank. The last tool that I use for inventory tracking, profit tracking, and all of that is Sellerboard. You've probably heard me talk about it before because I love it. So they have an app and they have a desktop program. On the app, it's really handy because you can see everything that you've sold, like literally images of it for that day. It forecasts for you what it thinks you're going to do for the month, and in my experience, it's been spot on. So Sellerboard is a lot like Inventory Lab in that you can see your profit, how much inventory, how much sale potential you have, and your amount of inventory you have, all of that. The difference between the two is that Inventory Lab, you can also make your shipments, which I do all my shipments in Seller Central, so I've never done it in Inventory Lab and never learned how to do it, and that's why I don't pay the $49 for Inventory Lab. It's only $19 for Sellerboard, and you can do all the same thing without that. You definitely do not need both. You could do one or the other. It's just your preference and what you do. I will say that everyone who uses Inventory Lab for shipment creation absolutely loves it. I just never learned it. So I'm probably missing out, but I don't know because I never learned it. So Sellerboard typically give 1 month free, but they've hooked me up. So if you click through the link below, which I make like $3 if you ever pay for it. But if you just want to try it out for 2 months free, you don't have to put a card in. I don't make any money. It's just an offer that they gave me for you guys to try it out. I really, really love it. I'm not just saying that. I actually really love it. I love seeing the profit numbers, you guys. I never really knew my full profit. I just had an idea based off what I was able to pay myself. Now I can actually see my numbers. How embarrassing is that? You've probably seen this in my other videos, but if you're new to my channel, I'll just quickly walk you through what Sellerboard looks like. Another thing, which I will make the video as soon as I test it, is they will actually solicit feedback for you. So if you need feedback, it is a paid, like a higher level of paid that you would have to get, but I'm gonna try it out. So they will literally say, hey, did you like this product? Like, leave us seller feedback. Like, I can write the email. I just need to test it out to make sure it works before I tell you guys to go use it. So you can see here, it has all the numbers for this month, for yesterday's sales, my forecast for the month of December, which we are in right now. And then down here, which I've blurred out, but you can see images of all the products that I've sold. So you can go to products, got reporting. So the FBM reporting in Amazon is horrible, and it's a lot better in here, but it is still kind of mixing the two together. But so far the reporting in Sellerboard has been a lot better. Again, this is not something you need to start out with. It's just something if you want to try it out later on, it's here for you. So you can pull all your reports, dashboard by month, dashboard by product, by order, sales by month. Okay, so I took my laptop inside because it is pretty cold out here and it was dying. And the sun has risen, so now I'm trying to like block so you can still see me. Anyways, so if there are any trainings you've been looking at all year, or if you want to get ungated, or even if you're in my Bolo group and you join the Bolo group, all of that stuff is tax deductible. You can write it off. It's part of cost of doing business that you can write off for your taxes. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that if there's anything you've been thinking about buying and you kind of want to do it, year end is a great time to do it because you can write it off for your taxes. So if you want to get my ungating trainings, they are available to you. They are new seller friendly. They're actually made for new sellers, so you can get ungated in Topical, OTC, grocery. Then they have another guide of toys, all the big brands like Marvel, Hasbro, Mattel, Lego. So definitely check that out. You're also very welcome to join the Bolo group. So any money that you spent in 2020 on your business is tax deductible. So in 2021, it'll be the same thing. So any software, programs, courses, trainings, supplies, all of that cost of doing business, and is tax deductible. All right, really quickly, let's go through all the supplies I use. So once again, all of my supplies are always in the video description below. I have a link to my Amazon store where I buy all my products are from Amazon. So if you need to get any supplies, the links are in every video for you. Super helpful to go and grab. A printer. So this is my printer. It's small, lightweight. It's a laser printer, which I did not have until about a year ago. I highly recommend a laser printer. I also print like regular papers, so I don't have a Rollo or a Dymo. I think that's how you say it. But if you do have one of those, you can also use those. I don't use them, so I can't tell you how to use them. The type of labels I use, so these are just a half sheet label, so it just prints a regular paper and it'll print the shipping labels right on there. I also print the FBM labels this way. And then you should always print FNSKU labels, always, always, always. I know you might be thinking, oh, that's an extra step at a cost, but it's totally worth it. And I have a video where I will show you why that is. But these are the ones I use. I've been buying the same brand forever. It's just the 30 up address labels. So that's the printer and labels. Again, you don't have to buy those half up labels. You can use a piece of paper and just tape it to the box if you're just starting out. Use whatever printer you already have. You don't have to make that investment into something different. You really don't. The labels actually last quite a while, so you'll probably be able to get away for like half a year with just one box of labels. Okay, so taking price tags off of things, you really want a Scotty peeler and Goo Gone and just a regular old hair dryer. This is my hair dryer I use for my hair. You don't have to buy a heat gun or anything. You can buy a really cheap hair dryer. Actually, a heat gun might be too hot and actually melt something, so I have never used it. I don't think I would recommend it because a hair dryer works fine, and you can get them for like $10, I think. You could probably get a heat gun for the same price. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. I use a hair dryer. It was free because I already had it. Goo Gone, this is, I think, my second bottle ever in 3.5 years. And then the Scotty Peeler is like $10, I think. And there's like a pack of plastic ones, which is helpful. If you have someone helping you, then you have two. So there's that. But these, I think, are absolutely must, and they are inexpensive, and they will make your life so much easier because it's so easy to take labels off. I literally just use the hair dryer on the lowest setting, heat it up, and then peel the label right off. This, I just spray a little bit on a paper towel, spray it on, and then rub all that residue off from the stickers. So these are musts in my book. So you do need to polybag anything where the actual product is out. So if you can touch the physical product, you need to polybag it. Every time I do these videos, I never have a thing to show you. Still don't have a thing to show you. So let's take my phone case, for example. So it might actually be at Apple where you can touch the case to feel how it feels. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's pretend it does. It's in a blister pack and you can actually touch the case to feel, oh, how soft. You would need to polybag that because I can actually touch the item. Polybag anything. I have a video where I go over everything in more detail, so definitely check that out if you need it. These are the polybags I use and love. They're from Spartan Industries. It's a set of 4, and then they have bigger ones, so I have 6 altogether. For like 3 years, I was using Uline, and those ones are repositionable, so they would open back up. I actually like Spartan because they are permanent and they won't open back up, and they opened up so much. It was so annoying. I had to tape some of them, which is an extra step. So these are the ones I use now. They are not repositionable. If you have an item that is too big, you can put it in a clear plastic bag, but then, so this one actually has a drawstring. I just chopped the drawstring off. I got these on Amazon. But the bag must have a suffocation warning. So you can get these labels that have the suffocation warning and you just stick it on the bag. I forgot to mention that about the poly bags. You can see there, they all have the suffocation warning. It must have a suffocation warning. If you're doing any bundling, you will need this is a set, do not separate. There's a few different variations of this. It doesn't matter what it is, it just has to say it. If you're bundling like heavier items, you can put them in a box and then put the box, like actually the tape I use now comes in a box. So you can put it in a box and just put the thing, and you put your FNSKU on the outside. You can polybag, that's how I do most all my bundles. Actually, I've never boxed anything. I always put it in a polybag. You just polybag it, put your FNSKU, and this is a set so that Amazon does not separate it in the warehouse. The roll I buy, I think is like, I don't know, $5 for 2 or something like that. When I was just starting out, I didn't buy these, even though they're so cheap. I was printing them myself. I would just make a colored label that said this. That was kind of a waste of time. I would just recommend buying, but if you have to, you can do that. The poly bags, there's no way around it. You're going to have to buy poly bags. It is a little bit expensive. It's like $50, I think, for the 4-pack, but you do need them, so that is an expense you're going to have to use. Another thing while prepping your products are these little round stickers. Can you see that? So I use these to seal beauty items, some grocery items, just to make sure that the customer really knows that it's new. And the reason I started doing this is because a customer was complaining that it wasn't new, and I was like, yes, it is new. And so I just started doing this, and now I recommend it. You don't have to do it. You could probably use regular tape, but I just think it looks more professional, so that's why I do it. They come in 2 sizes, or they probably come in more sizes. I have 2 sizes. I have a small one and then that about an inch size one. So I was doing a video before and someone recommended the Gorilla Tape because my other tape always peels off. Always. So I did start buying the Gorilla Tape, which it does, I don't have to use as much tape, but it does run out a lot faster. So I'm going through it a little bit more. Either way, it is sticky and it works. So a tape gun, again, you're gonna need packing tape. Doesn't have to have a tape gun, I guess, but it's very handy. It makes my life easier. So for that reason, I think it's worth it. And then these last 2 supplies are not absolutely necessary, but they are probably going to make your life easier. This is just a USB. It plugs into my computer. I think you can get them wireless now too. Barcode scanner. So when I'm entering my products, I can just scan the barcode and it'll pop up in the add a product for Amazon. That way I don't have to manually type in the UPC. If you're on a budget, you can manually type in the UPC. You don't absolutely need that. This is the scale I use. I used to have a little dinky one and the boxes are big, so it wasn't really doing it, and then eventually it was saying it was like 47 pounds, but I got it to UPS and then it said it was like 50 something, and so I knew my scale was broken. So I went ahead and bought a bigger scale, and I've had it 2 years now, I think, and it is worth every penny. You don't have to. If you really want to, you could use like a bathroom scale if you have one and weigh yourself, hold the box, weigh yourself. I did do this for the first like month of selling. I don't think I would recommend it because there's a lot of guessing there, and your boxes can't be over 50 pounds or Amazon will charge you, and then they may even deactivate your FBA selling ability. So a scale is necessary, but you can hold off a little bit if you want to. And the last thing I forgot to bring out here is my boxes. So you can use any box you want. It just can't have alcohol, like writing on it. It can't be an alcohol box, and probably not also like a fireworks explosive box. But other than that, you can use whatever box you want. If you order from Amazon and you get a box, you can send that box right back to Amazon. I don't recommend this for FBM because you're sending it straight to the customer. You want it to look very professional. All of my supplies you can get from Uline, the boxes, if you want to do like a bunch of boxes at once. I just get them from Walmart. The longest the box can be is 25 inches on the longest side, so Walmart's are 22 and they are perfect. Home Depot recently changed their boxes, so don't buy Home Depot large boxes if you used to, because now they are 26 inches on the longest side, and that is too long. I get all my boxes at Walmart for FBM and FBA because it's just easy. They're at all Walmarts in the shipping aisle. So those are the boxes I use, and that is really it. Those are all my tools, supplies, software that you need for FBA. Again, a lot of it you can do just with free versions when you're starting out. Just know though that anything you do buy is a cost of your business on your taxes, so you do get to write that part off, so that helps at the end of the year. But as always, if you need any help or you have any questions, I'm here to help you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you right back here for another Amazon selling video.